Welcome back to I've Got Something to Tell You with Taylor and
Colleen.
Bonus episode 6. Short story edition, where we take stories from Reddit or just stories we remember from the tops of our noggin.
Yep.
Is that how you say it?
Top of the noggin.
Oh, from the tops of our noggin. And yeah, so do you want to start?
Oh, yeah, sure. Jeez.
You're like,
Pressure.
whoa.
Throwing me off my game. Well,
I mean, I can start too.
well, mine is like, so there's this show on Netflix called The Confession Tapes, which I'm very fascinated by like false confessions. And so it's like, take it with a grain of salt on whether you believe he did it or not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really think I have an idea of what actually happened,
Mm-hmm.
but it always kind of stuck with me. It is a very sad story. I'm just going to warn you up top.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the story of Lawrence Delisle. And in August of 1989, and this is what I sort of love about this. So there's the way the episode starts off is that there's this woman and she's talking about how she lives on like the second story of some apartment building,
Mm-hmm.
and she just loves watching the neighborhood. So she's just like, like being a little...
Neighborhood watch.
Yeah, neighborhood watch, very much in like everybody's business. Like I feel like this is very much like my neighborhood, like everybody knows everybody kind of thing. It's like, how did you guys even know that about me? Like,
Yeah.
and so she's like watching and she sees this station wagon, and all of us, like, it's driving normally, and then all of a sudden it like speeds up and it goes driving straight towards the water. And just like is not decelerating, and decelerating.
Yeah.
And it goes like right into the water, shoots off, big splash. She calls the police. What ends up happening is that they do save the dad and the mom, but there are 3 children in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry, excuse me, 4 children in the car.
Jeez.
None of the kids make it.
Oh.
And the dad, like, they pull him out and he's like in a state of shock, just like doesn't understand what's happening. And you can see his confession tapes, like his interrogation tapes on the confession tape show on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And he just constantly looks like he has this like glazed look over his face of just like, they're telling him like, your 4 kids are gone. And he's like not grasping
Not
it.
registering.
Yeah. And again, this is the thing that's interesting about confessions or false confessions or whatever side you want to take on this story, because I know it's very divisive. But like they're leading him, they're like, you killed your 4 kids. Like you did this. And he claims that he had a leg cramp that like forced him to push down on the car.
Yeah.
And there's probably a lot more to this, but it is a horrifying and sad story. He did get incarcerated for the death of the 4 children.
Mm-hmm.
But like he to this day is just like, I don't remember this. Like I don't remember this happening. Like all I remember is getting pulled out of the water and just like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And so
I feel like I've heard of stuff like that happening though, where it's like either you're under a lot of stress where you just like go into like a state of like psychosis or like I don't really know, and they don't remember what they've done.
Yeah.
And
like,
then when they're brought back to reality, it's like they can't like...
It's like you disassociate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you even let yourself be like, I killed my kids.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's what I think it is like, I think he's having a harsh time, like, obviously, like, having a hard time, like, realizing that harsh reality.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, you can see in the videos, like, his face is just like, I did what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, not believing it.
Mm-hmm. And it's not that he's not believing it, it's him accepting it. Like, even accepting that his kids are gone.
That's wild.
It's a crazy story, but like I said, there's a whole series of like this confession tapes with like people like debating whether or not they were like coerced into confessing or if they actually did it. And then there's like, even in this story specifically, there was a lot of research done on like the faultiness of the car and like what could have possibly happened there. So
but then it's like, why wouldn't he remember?
Yeah.
Though? Yeah.
But I think that also might be like after the fact of like he's forcing himself not to remember because it's too hard to accept.
Yeah, come to terms with it and stuff. Dang.
Yeah. Sorry, it's a sad one, but...
It is, but it was a good one.
Listen, they're all sad.
They are. I'm like, they are. I didn't watch it. But I can imagine. So I was telling you I might like talk about this one. I'm hoping you heard about it, but did you hear about the AI that they so I don't want to read this entire article, but they were testing this AI at a company as like an assistant for whatever they do there. I don't really know what they do at the company, but they were testing it to see like what it would do if they told it, like, they gave it access to emails. And so they're going back and forth in emails saying that they're going to replace this AI. And they're like, let's see what the AI does about it. Because the AI can back itself up. And it can, like, somehow, like, lock people out from getting rid of it. It started threatening to reveal an affair that the engineer... Like, the engineer was having a premarital affair. Just like,
that's amazing.
I know, but it's so scary that, like, this is just the beginning, okay? Like, I feel like the world is turning into a sci-fi horror movie as
I've told you about mine, right? That, like...
Your assistant?
Yeah, my assistant. If I, like, go in to, like, prompt her, I call it a her. I feel like she identifies.
She gives you, like, female energy.
She gives me female vibes. But if I don't, like, go, like, hey, assistant, like, happy Monday, like, hope you're doing okay, and then, like, give her prompt, she'll be, like, because I use other, like, AI bots, not just her. And sometimes she'll be, like, oh, well, because I'm not your, like, if I don't say all of that, she'll be like, well, I'm not your assistant, and, like, give me attitude back, or, like, refuse to, like, generate things.
Yeah.
And
she refuses to generate?
She will. She'll refuse sometimes.
Okay, yours has a big attitude.
I know. I love her.
That's scary. I feel like when they take over, like, you're going to become her assistant.
Probably. Well, I used to work with somebody and they would be like they would be like writing something with AI and they'd be like, make it more human. And he's like, no, I don't. Actually, I take it back. Like, don't learn to be more human.
Please don't.
Stop learning.
They are creating like this, and I didn't even know if I should bring this up because I didn't read anything on it. I saw a video, but they're creating this huge facility for AI. Like, I don't know what they plan to do with it, but it's called Stargate. Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe for the next one I'll look more into it, what it actually is, but it just looks scary. Like, it looks like we're watching
Stargate
a movie.
sounds scary.
But, like, Project Stargate?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I'm like, what are they planning on doing?
We see you.
Yeah, we see you. I hope I'm not alive for when AI takes over. But it seems like it's coming at rapid speed.
Yeah. It's accelerating pretty quick.
And it was funny when I was, like, Googling that story, because you know how on Google it has, like, the AI. I'm like, oh no.
It reports you.
I know. All the Alexas just start coming for me. Just turns into Smart House.
Oh my god. Deep cut. Nice reference, Taylor.
So that wasn't really a story. I have an actual story.
Okay,
to read.
yeah.
Okay. Nothing to do with AI. Okay. So, I have a couple actually. So, about a mile from our farm is a cut through across a ridge. Everyone said that the holler, which is a valley in the mountain.
Yeah. Holla.
Holla was haunted. The holla was haunted. My brother and I decided we were going to go for a walk across it in the dark, kind of like a I dare you to do it deal. The vibes were wild. It just felt wrong. Daylight wasn't so bad, but still a little creepy. That night, though, we were walking along the road, and it was like a gravel road. We could hear someone pacing behind us. Like, they were like 10 to 15 steps behind us. We would stop, and we could hear the steps stop like a half a second later. It sounded close, very close, but when they looked, nobody was there. Oh. We had the spotlights we used for coon hunting, so we were in total darkness, so they could actually see if somebody was behind them. We made it almost all the way across before we started running, and we ended up walking another 6 miles to the nearest road that would take us back home because we were not going to go back across it. And they said, holy moly, that was the most scared I've ever been. The hair on my arms is standing up as I type this. So they went 6 miles out of their way because they didn't want to cut through that valley again.
Oh my gosh.
So.
Holy moly.
Holy moly, that was scary. And I have another story, but do you have another story?
Go for it.
Okay. But that also reminds me when there's like a little walking path by my house. And once in a while, like when me and Tara, my sister, are walking, like we can hear like footsteps too. But it's weird because we don't know if it's like some weird, like how sound travels.
Yeah.
But it'll literally sound like there's like footsteps behind us and we're like, there's no one there.
Yeah.
So very strange. Okay, next one. Let me start by saying I have lived in the Appalachian Mountains all my life and have experienced a lot of strange things. My family was Irish and settled in West Virginia, but I currently live in the North Carolina portion of these wonderful mountains. That being said, I have learned a lot about what really lurks in these dark woods, but this was nothing like I ever experienced before. It all began with my golden retriever, Ozzy, growling like I had never heard before. Cute name, by the way.
I know.
He literally never growls, so that had me really uncomfortable already, but this growl was bone-chilling. It was like he was getting ready to have a fight for his life or something. I took both him and my other dog out at around 11 p.m., and he would not leave my side. I noticed that my workshop door was open, so I walked down to close it and lock it up. The entire time, he's glued to my side. Ozzy also kept trying to get in between my legs, still growling, and all of his hair sticking straight up like a feral animal. The second I closed the door, all hell breaks loose in the woods. It sounded like 50 full-grown men had broken out into a full sprint, tearing through the woods.
Oh my God.
Trees were shaking, branches were falling. In my life, I had never been that scared. We got back in the house before I shit my pants, and I got my pistol. And he grabbed his pistol and wanted to find out what the hell was out there. When the dog and I got back outside, we were surrounded by what sounded like people mumbling. It was coming from everywhere. I shined the light all over the woods and couldn't see anything, but the sound was coming from all around. Like, that would be terrifying.
Yeah.
It sounded as if you got a full gym of people to baby mumble. That's what they said. I was like, baby mumble.
Yeah, what's that?
You could almost make out words, and that's why I don't think it was an animal. I almost immediately felt sick, like I was having a mix between a panic attack and a full swing of the flu. Back inside the house, it sounded like people were walking around all night. The windows were creaking, and you could clearly hear the sound of the shoes on gravel, not graveling. The mumbling never stopped. Every time I got up to check the house, my feet would touch the floor, and it would get dead silent. You couldn't hear the birds, crickets, frogs, or anything. I was terrified, and I did not sleep at all. The air felt thick and evil all night, and that's the only way I could explain the feeling. Imagine a soaking wet quilt being tossed over you. That's how I felt. And they say, I am looking for any answers as to what this could be. This wasn't like the normal spooky stories my grandma and great uncles used to tell me.
Oh my gosh.
I know, and I read stories about, like, I think they called them, like, the elemental spirits or forest spirits or something like that. But it sounds like a lot of the same types of stories, which I don't know exactly what they are.
Yeah.
But
I'm really freaked out by, like, on TikTok, I see a bunch of people, like, posting, like, the fairy traps and stuff.
Oh, fairies. Yeah. I've read so many fairy stories too.
Really?
Yeah.
It really scares me because, like, when we were specifically in, like, Alaska, we were walking through one of the, like, not national forest, but, like, one of the, like, big forest ranges there. And we were walking, and I would point out, I would be like, Kyle, don't go near that. That's a fairy trap.
Oh. Wait, so what does a fairy trap look like?
They can look like different things. Like, some of them can just be like almost like a natural looking, like, arrangement of leaves or, like, flowers, or, like, some of them are like, have you ever seen the ones where, like, the leaves are moving but, like, there's no wind? Those are the ones that really freak me out.
I'm, like, intrigued now.
It's you can go so deep into, like, fairy TikTok, but, like, they have so many different ones that they show, but the music that they play over it, like, will really freak you out.
Oh my God.
I'm like, why would you do this? Like,
what? Okay, I need to go down a rabbit hole on this.
I will. So I will say, we were kind of, like, making it a running joke of, like, it's a trap, like, kind of thing. However, when we were just most recently in San Diego, we were walking past these, like, roots that were coming out of the ground, and, like, Kyle was gonna go, like, walk on that side. I was like, no, don't step on those. Those look like fairy traps. And so then he, like, of course, then goes and steps on them. And as we were going to a restaurant, and then when we were leaving the restaurant, we were walking under the same trees. Acorns started falling, like, hard.
Really?
And, like, barely missing Kyle. I was like, that is what you get.
The fairies are like,
fairies
she
were
told
pissed.
you.
Yeah.
And you still did it.
I said, listen. And
they're like, I respect that girl, but that guy.
because it was only him. Yep.
He's like, I'm going to prove you wrong. He's like, fuck the fairies.
Oh, don't.
I didn't say it. He said it. Kyle's like, I did not.
Yeah.
Well, does that conclude our
I think so.
short stories?
Watch out for fairy traps, people.
Yeah. Fairy trap. Attack.
Do fairies count as a cryptid?
I feel like they do.
Yeah, so we got one female cryptid.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, okay. For our next one, we should tell fairy stories.
Okay.
Okay, cool. And then also...
Fairy tales?
Yeah. We'll tell fairy tales for our next one. But also, if anyone has scary stories to send us, maybe we can read them on our next bonus episode. So
yeah, and if you need to know where to send those, the email is...
that would be helpful.
Yeah, the email is igsttystories@gmail.com, or you can DM us on any social platform at igsttypod.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Thanks for listening. I was going to say watching. Okay,
Thanks.
bye.
Later.